Hello, welcome to Cable Plus Property, the #1 online educative platform on all issues related to land and landed properties. At Cable Plus Property, our aim is to ensure that Nigerians and non-Nigerians have at the tip of their finger all information related to land acquisition, land procurement, planning, documentation, and registration of land and landed properties. We provide you with all that you need to know about getting your property registered and obtaining your planning permits. In this video, I'll be speaking with a veteran in the built environment, Town Planner Waheed Kadiri. What channels should disgruntled property owners go through to lay their complaints or to take their rights after if their land gets acquired by the government? Who can they speak to?
They can speak to the public, take it to the public, court of public opinion. And the new media has given us the chance to do that. You can, because it has the advantage of, I'm sorry to use the word, the advantage of being faceless. You can say whatever you like without people knowing who is saying it. So you can talk to government on the social media, right? And the good thing about Nigeria is that no matter what your opinion, you still find people who will queue behind you, right? But there's also what I can call, you can approach professionals. And for example, you can approach a town planner. For example, if your acquisition is based on things that are planned, you can approach an estate surveyor. If the value given your property is not acceptable to you, you can have a counter value done by a registered estate surveyor person, right? If somebody says your property is being acquired because it's not structurally sound, you can approach a structural engineer who can do a test for you and gives you a certificate. But most of the time, like someone said, we sit on our rights. And that may also be taken from the Yoruba philosophy side, which is act before back is JB, that nobody acts on behalf of government and be wrong, whereas that is not right. People can take wrong decisions on behalf of government, and the people affected will have the right to challenge it. Let me tell you this, the old land acquisition, even when your property is not acquired and is what they call in that law, injuriously affected, that your property is negatively affected, you can ask for compensation. Am I making sense? For example, if there's an acquisition along a road that now says the property here is to be used for widening the road, and my property is just behind that, but I cannot have access to my property. It's been injuriously affected. I can ask for compensation.
So take us through the town planning in Ogun State in terms of government agencies involved and what they do.
Government in Ogun State.
Town planning in Ogun State.
Yeah.
Give us an overview of how it is, of how the practice is.
I think the only, as a town planner, up till recently, the only thing you can point to is the regional master plan that was done during the OGD era. Before then, around 1978, I think, 1987, the military government then commissioned 6 master plans for towns within the state: Ilaro, Ifota, Ijebu-Ode, Ijebu-Igbo, Agowoye, Shagamu, and Abeokuta, 1987. But they were never concluded. The government did not pay. It is alleged that one of the military governors said, "Is this what I pay for, so much for?" And those master plans were abandoned. Therefore, Ogun State, there's no settlement in Ogun State that has a master plan. But since we have the luck of having a commissioner now, who's also a town planner, I'm aware that he's making efforts at trying to convince the government about preparation of master plans, right? And only, I think, early this month, there's been a law with the State House of Assembly that was brought out for public presentation so that members of the public. And that law is supposed to make for, I think, 3 agencies of planning agencies in Ogun State: the physical planning permits, the urban regeneration, and then the building production or whatever, an equivalent of LABCA in Ogun State. They are doing that. So, and I think in the last budget, the commissioner was able to get some fund for master plans. But things are getting better for planning in Ogun State.
As a former president of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, how do you think the traffic situation in Ota can be better managed?
I don't need to be the president of the Institute of Town Planners to talk about Ota. Let me talk about Ota traffic situation as a resident of Ota. It's an everyday life experience. It's horrible, very horrible, the traffic situation in Ota. And that had even led to a situation that a group had come together and they call themselves Fix Ota Roads Group. Last year they protested. This last 1 month, I think they've protested 2 times. And using the social media, this group had been able to call the attention of government to the deplorable situation in Ota. And we've started seeing actions in the last 1 or 2 weeks from the federal side, from the state side. It's as bad as that. It's as bad as getting out of Ota or getting into Ota is so unpredictable. But let me say this, it's not absolutely about the state of the roads. The state of the road is primary, but human attitude makes it worse. What do I mean by human attitude? You see the roadside traders putting their wares beyond even the drain. You see the Okada riders parking on the main road, blocking the road, and telling you, "Sheben you're buying." No, you even see the car owners. And I assume that if you are a car owner, you must have gone to a level of intelligence that you know what is good and what is bad. But the car owners are the worst culprits. They will drive against traffic. Once a car owner in Ota sees 10, 12 vehicles in front of him, you find a way to get to the other side and drive against traffic. But at a point, the immediate past chairman, the caretaker chairman of Adodota local government, got worried about this and he set up a committee of 11 people and he made me the chairman of that committee. And we took a look at the issue and we said, let's start with enlightening the people about the implication of abuse they are going away with. And maybe I should also add the fact that the transport unions are also part of the problem. And we talk to these people with the help of the police officer in charge of the area commander. And for the first 2 weeks, things were going on smoothly. People were aware of the need of care that they owe the road and the other road users. But then we went back. I think part of the problem is that nobody has been picked up as a scapegoat. For example, if the goods of the traders had been seized for once, I'm not saying seizing perpetually. If you take their wares and we give it back to them, at the end of the day, they've lost sales. We will know that tomorrow it will not be there. Because I know they are just trying to survive. But the point is they are affecting other road users.
As we conclude, sir, what is your general advice to members of the public concerning town planning as a profession?
Like they say about police, we are their friends. But the side of town planning most people know is the combative, if I can use the word, or the police side, this X that we go and put. Whereas things had not been like that, and town planning was in existence. And of course, my advice will also be, even to government, if you give people responsibility to chase after contravening developments, give this set of people the support they need. It's not like somebody goes to a site and is waylaid and is injured and is left to take care of himself. Can we, those who are so publicly exposed, can we have insurance policies for them? Can government take over responsibility for whatever they have to do after being assaulted? And of course, like I said earlier, we need the government's political will to see that planning is good for us. And that takes us to the fact that government should not see planning as a revenue generation arm of government. Because most of the time, you want to develop and government waits for you at that point to say, have you paid your tax? Some will even rate the tax accruable to you based on the proposal you are bringing. But proposals are intention. Am I right? Proposals are intention. I have this plot of land. I intend to put 6 blocks of flats. Does not mean I have the money now. I may need the government approval to seek for funds for it. And you are telling me, go and bring the money that you don't have because you want to have. No. Government should also think about that.
For someone watching this video, sir, how can him or her get a career in town planning? What are the processes to go through, especially a student who is currently studying town planning? What's the future?
It means the student has already made up his mind, or he has found himself, because that's what happens most of the time, like what happened to me. Town planning, with due respect to all my colleagues, is a relatively not too visible profession. It's easier for someone to relate to architecture, even quantity surveying, than to planning. But if someone has found himself or herself in planning field as a student, the answer to the question is things are getting better. Like I always say, I'm sure you will pardon my modesty. I'm better than those who taught me planning in terms of whether professional achievement or life achievement. That's because during their time they had limited opportunities. But I'm sure those coming after us are even having better opportunities than we have. More and more of our students are exposed to more opportunities than we are. Therefore, the future is there for them. But my advice will also be to the trainers. You don't train a student by telling him you will be a failure. No matter how bad your student is, encourage him, tell him he can be better, expose him to what is there for him, even within his level of weakness. But there are some students who are not good at theory, but you see them being good in practical side of plan. They are good in drafting, they are good in graphics, they are good. Identify their strength, area of strength, and encourage them. There's always something for them to do. I've seen those who trained as planners that are leveraging on planning to do other things. For example, I know someone in Notahia who trained as a town planner, but he's receiving his daily livelihood through landscaping. Because he can do the presentation, he can do the quantification, he can talk to his potential clients. Am I making sense? All trainers should see their students as their future colleagues. If you treat your student as your future colleague, it's likely to warm up to the profession, right? But the other side is what I can call mentoring. And that goes even beyond the class. It goes beyond teacher-student relationship. And I think the national president of the institute has seen the need for that. And he has set up a mentoring committee at the national level. And coincidentally, I'm the chairman of that committee. And we are part of the terms of reference is how do we encourage planning students to have faith in planning? How do we encourage those who have struggled to even qualify to stay in the profession? I think by the time we do all this, and we are saying it could be done, we can talk to people, we can, but the problem is you cannot mentor someone who does not bring himself up for mentoring. And that takes us to the point of letting the students know that they must serve masters first. You must be ready to serve others. It's a natural phenomenon. If you don't serve others, it may be difficult for you to find people to serve you. And for people to serve you, you must have been seen as somebody worthy of being served, right? Let's take, and that's one of the things I find as beauty of the academic side. If you become an HOD, it's for a limited time. If you become a dean, it's for a limited time. Therefore, the way you treat the people, when you become ordinary member of the department of faculty, the new person is likely to treat you that way. Whereas in the civil service, if you are level 14, you are superior to level 12 forever. If you are level 16, you are superior to level 10 forever. If a level 10 officer is attending a meeting with other level 14, 16 officers, he will just keep quiet. No matter what he thinks he has in his head. We must recognize the fact that everybody has something to bring on the table. I think if we do that, our students will have more love for the profession. Let us also show them that the profession is fulfilling. What do I mean by that? When I was national president of the institute, I was to deliver a paper in Norway. I did not go in my official car. I went in my supposedly good car, V-Boot, right? Why did I do that? To tell them that as a town planner, you can ride a Mercedes-Benz V-Boot. I did not go in my normal Buban Shokota. I went in full Agbada so that they can see, that's a town planner. If he can do it, I can also do it. But I hope you let us also reflect to these students or the juniors that we are getting something from the profession and they have the chance of getting things better than us in the profession. Not a situation where a planner has a Mercedes-Benz and he goes to the office in a B2 because he does not want people to know he has it. It's not saying so much about the profession. I'm not saying we should be flamboyant. I'm not saying we should be spending recklessly. But within some reasonable limit, let's show that town planning can give us comfort so that others coming will also know that they have a chance of being comfortable.
Be encouraged.
Be encouraged. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Cable Plus Property. As well, like our Facebook page at Cable Plus Property. And also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Cable Plus Property. My name is Oiza. Thank you for watching. And this is Cable Plus Property.